In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to perform a linear regression and also to create a scatter plot in which you can also predict a value based off of our linear regression. So our first thing is to turn our calculator on, and we're going to turn our diagnostic on. To turn our diagnostic on, you're going to hit the second button and the number 0. It says calculate, or it says catalog right here in yellow. So if I turn that on, I can see the catalog. And I'm going to scroll down until I see diagnostic on. So it's all in alphabetical order, so just go down to the D's. Here's diagnostic on. I just need to hit enter to show that on the screen, and then hit enter a second time. Once you see done, you know that your diagnostic is on. The next step is to enter our data into our calculator, and I'm going to enter this data that I have in the tables below here in our calculator. To do that, I'm going to hit stat, and I'm going to hit edit, which is number 1. And right now, if you have data into your list, just go up to the L1, hit clear, and hit enter, and that will delete everything in that table. Since mine is blank, I can now enter my data. So the rank in my table is going to be L1. So I'll have 1, enter, 2, enter, 3, enter, 4, enter, 5, enter, 6, enter, 7, enter, 8, enter, 9, enter, and then 10, enter. If you don't hit enter after you type in the number, it won't appear in our list. So just make sure you hit enter after each number you type in. Now list 2 is going to be the temperature. So I'm going to type those in exactly the way it is, which would be 59.4, enter, 64.8, enter, 70.7, enter, 45.4, enter, 51.8, enter, we got 48.8, enter, 50.7, enter, 63.5, enter, 59, enter, and 44.4, enter. Once I have all my data into my table, I can now perform the regression. So since these are linear regression, I'm going to be looking for y equals mx plus b. So to do this, I'm going to hit the stat button. I'm going to go over to calculate. So I just hit the right arrow button. Under calculate gives me all these options. I want to use linear regression, which is in y equals mx plus b, or in this case, ax plus b. So I'm going to choose option 4. Once I hit option 4, it tells me the form that I'm going to have it into. Hit enter, and it gives me my equation. So the equation would be y equals, and here I'm going to round to the nearest hundredth, so 2 decimal places, a negative 1.20 x plus 62.47. And that would be my equation. This r equals, this would be our correlation coefficient. And the correlation coefficient just tells you how strong of a relationship is my two data, so like my rank and my temperature. So when we do a scatter plot, which I'll show you briefly, we want to see how accurate is the scatter plot based on our line of best fit. And what we just did here was find our line of best fit. So here it says a negative 0.40 or negative 0.41. So we would say this is like a weak correlation. So it's not real strong based on the data that we have. So more likely this is not a linear regression, but for this particular video, we're just looking at how to do a linear regression. So now that we have our equation here, I'm going to show you how to create a scatter plot. So to do that, I need to turn on my stat plot. To do that, I'm going to hit second, y equals, because right above it says stat plot in yellow. I need to go to stat plot 1, and I'm going to turn that on by hitting enter. Right now it is off, so I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to use my arrows. This first one is a scatter plot, so I'm going to hit enter. And then I just want to verify that X list is L1 and Y is list 2. If you put yours in a different list, then you'll have to change those. But since mine is in list 1 and list 2, I'm good to go. So now all I'm going to do now is hit zoom, and I'm going to scroll down to number 9, which is zoom stat. And you can see the data that I have from the table as a scatter plot. Now, if I wanted to draw the line of best fit, I would just need to hit the y equals, and I'm going to hit the vars button, so this button right here. I'm going to go down to statistics because I'm working with statistics or data that I put into my calculator. I'm going to hit number 5. We're going to go over to EQ, and here's the regression. This is going to put our equation that we just found into the calculator. So if I hit enter, it puts my equation, so this will be my line of best fit. Now if I hit graph, you can see the line going through there. You can see that the points are pretty scattered farther away from the line. So that would be a clear sign that this is not the best equation for this data. But if we were going to use this, we can now use this equation to predict a future value. So this one was talking about temperatures in a certain month for a certain year. So let's just say if I were to find the rank, if I was going to find the, let's just say the 15th ranked temperature, all I would have to do is I'm going to check my windows. My X maximum is only 10.9. I need to go at least to 15. So I'm going to go down and make this, I'm going to make this 16. So I know I can for sure see 16 on there. If I go back to graph, now I'm going to hit second, trace. I'm going to find a value. So number 1. So if I want to find the 15th rank, I'm going to put 15 for my X because the X is representing our value, our rank. And if I hit enter, it's going to tell me 44.4. So based on what I have here, the 15th rank would be 44.41 if I were to round it to the nearest hundredth. So that's how you can create a scatter plot, perform a linear regression on your graphing calculator.